So we got the Bronco moved back outside here. I had to put my truck in the shop to work on the steering box. It was leaking pretty good. So anyway, did quite a bit of engine plumbing here. Got everything all loomed up nice and good. Power up to the ignition control module. Different wires ran, and gauges and stuff. I have temperature sender here and oil pressure down there. So engine plumbing's almost done. Got the dash pretty well in. Still a little bit more done. When I do some switches and stuff, I'll put the faceplate on. I got my tack set up, oil pressure, temperature, choke down here. But it's pretty well bolted in. Still some more things to do. But right now we're going to get my core radiator support put on, so you can do the plumb the radiator hoses and stuff and get the electric fan going. It used to have an automatic transmission, so we're gonna have to take off these fittings right here and get it mounted up on here. Also, what I got from the industry suspension is a full body bushing kit. We replaced some of these old worn out ones. They're nice polyurethane bushings, so we're gonna go ahead and replace these guys here with some nice some red bushings that just kind of fit right in there like that, and that will bolt right on top of this. So we'll toss in some photos of it, and I'll show you how I get my fan bolted on there. So I've been working on mounting up this radiator here. Got my cooling fan hooked back up, did some bracketry here. This is actually off of like a 94.5 Ford Taurus. It's 2-speed, so it got some pretty good flow to it. Got a little gap here so it doesn't rub on the radiator. Probably going to fill up with some foam they use for like truck canopies. But hopefully get something that doesn't melt at high temperature. Then I started working on this electrical, getting my senders hooked up, and what I got was I think this one here kicks on at like 195. This one here kicks on at 185 or 184 and goes down to 165. But I was able to find those on Amazon, so I got them for a good price. It was like probably about $40 for both of these, 45, which is cheaper than a single controller adjustable one from AutoZone. Anyway, but this one came in like an inline. You can see those there. They're supposed to mount inline with your heater hose and stuff. But when I got it, it was threaded, and so I took that. Screw this out here. And this part that I put it into is actually the bypass port for the thermostat. And so let's see if I can get this thing to focus. Anyway, so I drilled and tapped a hole right here. It's just the right thread for this. Put that in there, and so it will be a little bit sticking through inside there. Probably can't see it too well. And then this one, and so this one here, it just completes the circuit. Well, this one here grounds the circuit. So I got some relays here, and I got this relay here that I stole from a car. It was a Cadillac, and they had some thing hooked up for charging. I don't know. Anyway, but this fan draws like 50 amps on high speed, and so one of these is only good for about 30 amps. So that'll be fine for the low speed setting, but this one, I don't know what the amperage is, but I'm sure it's over 50 amps. Probably a little overkill and whatnot, but it's what I need. And I couldn't find one of these ones in 50 or 40 amp. Well, these ones are 30, 40 amps. But anyway, couldn't find one in 50 amps or 60. So we'll use these for the low speed, and probably hook up some switches so I can manually turn on high speed, and then probably turn off the low speed. So if you're wanting to go into a water hole, don't want the fan churning up the water, you can just turn that off. But then if you think it's getting hot, or I just want some extra cooling, you can manually flip switch on the high. Anyway, we'll get that wired up, get some switches in there in the dash, but the main right here is doing some plumbing and some wiring. It's wired up and kind of mocked up the routing on stuff. I'm probably going to put the convoluted tubing on it. But got that, ran up here to my solenoids. Power ran over to the fan, main power in, plus I have some switches I'm going to hook up so I can turn off the fan for low and then turn on the high. I've got those running up into the cab. Have the main power wire here run into the fuse box that was meant to power the fan from the Taurus. Got it hooked up to the 50 amp here. And then, yeah, so gonna do a little touch up on the routing and stuff, put it in the convoluted tubing and secure it down, and then go inside and do some switches. So we got this electric fan pretty much wired up. Got all my wiring wrapped up in some tubing here. Tested it out. Seems to work pretty well. The one thing I need to finish up would be filling this gap right in here with some foam so it's sucking through the radiator, not getting any past in here. But it's got some switches wired up in there and I'm happy with it.